After dominating the box office for the past 10 years with 20 plus movies, grossing billions of dollars, and concluding a major multi-film arc with the Infinity Saga, something that has never been accomplished before, where does the MCU go from here? Well, TV, of course. You might be asking, Odie, hasn't there already been Marvel TV shows before this? What makes these TV shows any different than the Netflix Marvel shows like Daredevil and Luke Cage, or shows like Cloak and Dagger, or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Well, those shows were not developed internally, therefore aren't allowed to play with the big kids. They were developed by off-brand Marvel. Marvel's younger brother. And doing that segments the MCU in ways that make the world feel less cohesive. Like, if they didn't tell you that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or The Runaways was part of the MCU, you would have never known that otherwise. The shows come off as pointless and unambitious and inconsequential as a result. But with Marvel's new shows debuting on Disney Plus, there has been a real big push to reimagine what a Marvel TV show could be. Now that Marvel has decided to expand officially into TV with full film level production values, if you were to tell me that these were just movies split up into chunks, I would believe that. Can they replicate the success they've seen on the big screen? Or is Marvel way out of their league and should just stick with the movies?
When my name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name. All drill y'all. Stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more. Put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on.
Marvel is killing it. And they can claim success in what they were trying to achieve, which is branching into the TV verse while not cutting corners, while making it necessary, while making it matter. These shows matter. So what happens in these shows are going to affect the bigger universe, and you want to give everybody that time to take it all in. You remember when Netflix sort of popularized the drop all the episodes at once and binge watching sort of thing? And all the other streaming things thought, well, okay, that's what we should do, right? Disney kept it old school. Like, no, you're gonna wait every week to watch our show. Like, you're gonna really take it in, you know, let it really like,
Nigga, you gay.
Every show deserves that. It's not perfect by any stretch, but you can now say that the bar for superheroes on TV has been raised. If the title of the video hasn't given it away, I've decided to combine all of the shows into one super review. Because there's like 3 or 4 of them, so yeah, I'm not gonna do an individual review for each show. So let's start with WandaVision. What a way to start off phase 4, am I right? Nobody knew what to expect when this show was announced. And when we finally saw it, we were not prepared. While some of the elements of the show we could have easily predicted, some things like the weird Quicksilver reveal fake out, or the retconning of Scarlet Witch's origins, to Wanda officially becoming the Scarlet Witch. As a fan, I was constantly surprised every week. That was awesome. Going online to see all the crazy theories that people come up with, it's awesome, it's fun. And in the end, the show does a good job of moving the needle forward as far as the overall Phase 4 storyline, while also telling a great story about dealing with grief with a psychological twist. So WandaVision, dope. Next up, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This one is a little more straightforward. Marvel plays it a little safer, more or less. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier continues Sam and Bucky's storyline from Avengers Endgame, with both characters having to come to terms with life after Cap and determining who will take on the mantle of Captain America and all that comes with that mantle. While some might deduct points from the show for making things slightly political and real world, I give them credit for trying to handle a story like this with some serious weight, asking the big questions like, can Bucky truly atone for his past and become a better person for it, considering everything he's done? And for Sam, given the opportunity, would a black man even want to be Captain America? And in the end, the show was awesome. The action was pretty neat, story was alright, the villain was interesting but stupid in the end, ultimately pointless, probably one of the more forgettable villains of the MCU as a whole. And I can't wait to see what's next for these characters, especially Captain Derp over here. So overall, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is dope. Now on to Loki, the odd one of the bunch. I say odd because of not only the choice of main character, but also in the setting and the story that they wanted to tell. Tom Hiddleston's Loki is a fan favorite character that, despite being killed off in Endgame, like for real, has returned thanks to the power of the multiverse. So this version of Loki is actually Loki fresh from his defeat from Avengers 1. After stealing that universe's Tesseract, Loki teleports himself out of the Avengers' hands and right into the hands of the TVA, the Time Variant Authority. Being that Loki was not supposed to do what he just did, the TVA come to set things right, basically. But all is not what it seems for this all-powerful, universe-altering organization, and it's up to Loki to save the day. I think the setup for this show is bonkers. There's no other way to put it. In a good way. This show is simultaneously simple in its story while being complex and grand in its scope and ambition. So while this show is just about Loki doing Loki things with Owen Wilson. Did I mention Owen Wilson is in this? He's great. Owen freaking Wilson. He's great. So yes, this is just Loki into the Lokiverse, but the effect that this show has on the rest of the MCU cannot be understated, which is crazy. This show delivers what you expect from Marvel TV at this point. This show has some solid action, has some solid writing, and it's an all-around entertaining watch. So that's 3 for 3 in the live-action Marvel TV shows, which brings us to What If. Because the MCU is comprised of like 20-something movies, Marvel has the luxury of not only looking forward and building towards the future, but also celebrating and reminiscing in the past. One of the coolest things that Marvel Comics would do to celebrate its years and years of stories is the Marvel What If comics, which takes established storylines, characters, and scenarios and flips them right on their head. Stories like, what if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? Or what if Jane Foster found Thor's hammer? You know, stuff like that. Well, Marvel Studios took that awesome concept and turned it into a whole series. Is it good?
Stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
The show is for the fans of the MCU. You will not get this show unless you have seen these movies. It is a remix and a retelling of the events of the films, but in an animated form. It allows them to show concepts that just wouldn't technically be possible on the big screen yet. If you've seen every movie and show in the MCU thus far, then you are going to have a blast with What If. To talk about the different scenarios would be spoilers. That would just ruin it for you. But I will talk about the first episode so you can get a taste of what I'm talking about and the kinds of stories that they'll be telling. So the first episode asks, what if Peggy Carter actually got the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers? And trust me, the first episode is tame compared to the rest of the scenarios. It's great. That's just introducing you to the idea of change and what could happen. Oh, and they did my boy Ultron justice. I'll just leave it at that. If it isn't already clear by now, I think Marvel has nailed their first year of Marvel Disney Plus shows. And with Hawkeye currently going, there's no reason for me to believe that, yeah, it's gonna end with Hawkeye. Unless the last episode is just complete garbage.
Give me a second.
We could probably throw Hawkeye on this list as well. If I were to give this collection of shows a score, and then combine the scores and then average it all out, it would probably be like a 4 out of 5. But I don't really rate shows, so if I were to rate it, it would be something like that. I highly recommend the Marvel Disney Plus shows. When Marvel Studios first revealed Marvel Phase 4, and they revealed like 10, 15 different TV shows, Disney Plus shows that were in development, I was a little worried. I'm not gonna lie to you. First, about the quality of each project and if they can even meet the high quality bar that is needed to be in the MCU proper. But also the idea that Marvel would even do TV series, like a traditional TV series. Not just one, but like 10. But that's not what these are. Some of these are mini-series, which is very different than a TV show. A mini-series has a set number of episodes and that's it. It's over. No season 2 or anything. The story has been told and there's no more to it. A typical regular series would have multiple seasons with dozens of episodes, like 20 episodes apiece. No, I don't want none of that. As of now, Loki is the only live action series getting a second season. What If was always meant to be a traditional structured series with multiple seasons. So that one makes sense. That's why that makes sense. But for shows like WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we don't need like 6 or 7 seasons for those shows. And that goes for all the upcoming shows. We don't need 10 new shows with 8 seasons apiece to top off the 15 new movies we're getting as well. It's too much content. That is not the way to go. But what I do like is the miniseries format. You can introduce a new character, a brand new chapter in the MCU, in 1 season's worth of episodes. So like 6 to 9 episodes. Get in, tell the story that needs to be told, and get out. No filler, no BS, no nothing. And that's what we're getting. For the foreseeable future, for the next couple of years, we're going to be getting these sort of shows. And that's pretty cool. Again, I highly recommend the Marvel TV shows on Disney+. Check them all out if you haven't already. What did you guys think of these shows? Let's talk about it down below. Like, share, subscribe. Be sure to check out my other reviews. I have like a bunch of them on my channel, so check them all out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.